It was the fall of 2025, and once again, Elon Musk found himself in a courtroom. This time, SpaceX was being sued for unauthorized use of airspace during a rocket launch. The courtroom was packed, buzzing with anticipation. Elon, dressed casually as always, no suit, no tie, stood at the defendant's table. The judge, a sharp, middle-aged woman, leaned forward with a smirk. "Mr. Musk, is this some kind of joke?" she asked mockingly. Elon remained unfazed. "No, it's reality." The prosecutor jumped in. SpaceX violated airspace regulations, putting public safety at risk. The judge chuckled. "And how do you plan to defend yourself?" Elon's response was simple. "With science." He reached into his bag and pulled out a folder. The judge rolled her eyes. "And what exactly is that supposed to prove?" But there was a spark in Elon's gaze. His first witness stepped forward, a meteorologist. That day, airspace conditions were unstable, the expert explained. The judge raised an eyebrow, but kept her amused expression. Elon smiled. "With your permission," he pressed a button, and a screen flickered to life. The entire courtroom fell silent. This wasn't just another case. This was a battle of wit, a test of intelligence. And the real question was, would the judge still be laughing by the end of it? The second day of the trial was tense. The judge remained skeptical. "Science doesn't change the law," she said. Elon, unfazed, replied, "But it does save lives." He gestured toward the screen, displaying real-time airspace data from the day of the launch. The meteorologist stepped forward. A storm was approaching. SpaceX's adjusted flight path actually prevented a potential disaster. The judge squinted. "Do you have proof?" Elon pulled up a satellite image. On the original flight path, storm clouds loomed. The prosecutor jumped in. "That doesn't change the fact that it was unauthorized." Without hesitation, Elon produced a document. "A state of emergency protocol," he announced. The judge glanced at the papers, her skepticism momentarily wavering. "This is the first I'm hearing of this," she admitted. Elon smiled. "That's because we innovate in real time." The courtroom murmured. The judge narrowed her eyes. "What about regulations?" Elon tapped the screen again. A video played, showing the rocket veering away from the storm, avoiding catastrophe. "Sometimes rules need to adapt," he said calmly. The prosecutor was cornered, but the judge still wasn't convinced. "I'm not impressed yet," she said, arms crossed. Elon simply grinned. "We're just getting started." The first move had shaken the courtroom. The real question, would it be enough to silence the judge? On the third day, Elon called a surprise witness, a seasoned air traffic controller. The man took the stand, clearing his throat. "SpaceX warned us about the conditions, but we were too slow to respond." The judge leaned forward. "Why didn't you act in time?" The controller hesitated before sighing. "Bureaucracy." Elon turned to the courtroom. "So we took action." He pressed play on an audio recording, SpaceX's urgent warning to aviation authorities. The judge's brow furrowed. "Is this recording legally obtained?" Elon nodded and slid a contract onto the table. "We have an agreement with the FAA." The prosecutor sprang up. "This could be fabricated." Elon, unfazed, gestured at the documents. "Feel free to verify." The judge took the papers, her expression still firm. "What about potential harm?" Elon pulled up another report. "There was no threat to any aircraft," he said confidently. For the first time, the judge fell silent. The courtroom buzzed. Elon's defense wasn't just based on strategy, It was built on facts, science, and bold decision-making. The prosecutor, desperate, raised his voice. "This was reckless." Elon smirked. "No, this was progress." The judge tapped her pen against the desk, deep in thought. "Proceed," she finally said. Elon had cracked the first layer of doubt. The real question, would this witness be enough to turn the case in his favor? On the fourth day, Elon unveiled his strongest piece of evidence. "If I may," he said, launching a simulation on the courtroom screen. The animation showed what would have happened if SpaceX had followed the original flight path. Direct collision with the storm. A catastrophic disaster. "We prevented this," Elon stated calmly. The judge leaned in. "Is this authentic?" Elon nodded. Confirmed by satellite data. He handed over a thick folder of reports. The prosecutor shot up. "This is just a carefully crafted excuse." Elon barely flinched. "No, this was a real-time decision." Another audio clip played. SpaceX engineers scrambling, voices filled with urgency as they calculated the safest alternative route. The judge narrowed her eyes. That was a risky move. Elon met her gaze. But the right one. Silence filled the courtroom. The judge finally sighed. "And what about the future? How do we prevent this from happening again?" Without hesitation, Elon pulled up another display. A revolutionary airspace management system designed by SpaceX. The screen showed a real-time monitoring network, allowing instant adjustments to flight paths in emergencies. The judge watched in silence before murmuring, almost reluctantly, "That's impressive." The prosecutor, for the first time, had nothing to say. The audience erupted in murmurs, some even clapping. Elon's defense wasn't just working, it was winning. But was this enough to fully convince the judge? On the fifth day, the prosecutor made one final desperate move. "SpaceX disregards regulations," he declared, slamming a report onto the table. It detailed a minor violation from the past. The judge raised an eyebrow. "Explain this, Mr. Musk." Elon barely blinked. "Of course," he said, pulling up another screen. The report revealed that the violation had been a minor test error. "This was corrected immediately," Elon stated matter-of-factly. The prosecutor wasn't satisfied. "You're reckless. You can't be trusted." Elon smirked. "Then watch this." A new video played, footage of SpaceX's rigorous safety tests showing their commitment to security. The judge leaned forward. "How often do you conduct these tests?" Elon didn't hesitate. "Before every single launch." The prosecutor hesitated. His argument was crumbling. Then Elon placed one last document on the table, a signed approval from the FAA. The judge took the paper, scanning it carefully. "Why didn't you present this earlier?" Elon leaned back, a sly grin on his face. "I like a little drama." The courtroom burst into laughter. Even the judge let out a small chuckle. "You continue to surprise me, Mr. Musk," she admitted, but still she did not deliver her verdict. Elon had dominated the courtroom. But was this enough for the final victory? On the final day, the courtroom was silent, everyone holding their breath. The judge looked at Elon. "Mr. Musk," she said, pausing for effect. "At first, I laughed at you, but you've proven me wrong." The prosecutor tried to object, but the judge raised a hand, silencing him. "SpaceX's actions prevented a disaster," she declared. Then came the final words. "Case dismissed." Elon gave a small, knowing nod. "Thank you, Your Honor." The judge studied him for a moment, then smirked. "Your intelligence is remarkable." The room erupted in applause. As Elon walked out of the courtroom, reporters swarmed him. "This is about the future of space," he said simply, before stepping into his Tesla. Meanwhile, SpaceX's revolutionary airspace system was already being implemented. As the judge stepped down from the bench, she muttered under her breath, "That man is unbelievable." Elon hadn't just won the case, he had changed the way people thought about innovation and risk-taking. The headlines exploded. Elon's courtroom triumph. Musk outmaneuvers the system once again. Was this just another lucky break? Or was it simply the mind of a genius at work? Once again, Elon had left the world speechless.
If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Subscribe for more inspiring stories.